Uh,
Yeah. I'm
you gotta
good.
mute yourself? Okay.
I'm good. What's up, everybody? Another episode of Frag Logic. How you doing, Colin?
Not too bad.
I saw you got a new car.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
It was pretty fun. What, speeding around everywhere you go? Is that what you?
I think that's par for the course, isn't it?
uh, so, for those of you guys who don't know, uh, Colin picked up a 2008 Ford
Yeah.
Mustang.
Yep.
Dang,
As an upgrade from an '03 Crown Victoria, so
dang.
pretty fun to drive.
Zooming, zooming.
Yeah.
What'd you top out at so far?
I've just been on like the low speed limit areas. I need to hit the highway still.
You want to go 90, 100,
I've just been.
110?
I did like 65 and a 40 last night.
Colin, don't get that ticket, man.
No, I won't get ticketed. Won't,
Don't get that ticket.
won't catch me.
Okay.
No.
What's up, Sean? Um, so yeah, episode 35 this week. I saw in the title last week, I think I hit a 4 instead of a 9. 5. I had episode 39 in the title.
Oh,
But
really?
yeah. No one said anything. I know I introduced it as
No
episode
one's really
34.
counting.
Yeah, they don't care. Once you get past 10, they're like,
Yep.
um,
Until we hit like 100 or something, and then there'll be a big explosion of confetti.
yeah, those ideas, Colin.
I'm already
Those
thinking ahead.
ideas. Yeah. Uh, but no, this week, obviously, lots and lots of stuff happened. Last week, we had just got the Steam announcement for Steam OS, and then we had to wait, obviously, Wednesday and then Friday to get the two other little tidbits. So we're going to talk about that tonight. We have Battlefield 4 out for the beta, anyway. I'm going to talk some about that. I don't think Skyless has played it all. Not yet.
No.
No. Okay. So pretty much going to get my thoughts on it. We could talk about some of. I mean, I put that huge thing on the game types that they released, but we can talk about that and MLG $210,000 Dota 2 season. They announced. I believe it was today that they announced.
It
Um,
was yesterday, I believe.
Yesterday. Okay. So that's in there, and weekend activities. We just mentioned Colin got a car. I bought State of Decay
No,
for
it
the
was today.
PC.
So you're right. Go
Okay.
on.
I bought State of Decay for the PC. And what else? What else we got on here? Is that it? Hop right into the chat. Oh no, Destiny. How could I forget about Destiny?
Yeah, Destiny opened up pre-orders for beta.
Beta. So let's go ahead and start with the weekend activities. What'd you do? What I mean, other than
I mean, I spent all of Saturday the car stuff,
okay,
so I didn't really get to do much. I watched a little bit of League. League of Legends had their semifinals for the World Championship thing. LCS. There we go. Uh, it was all right. I I can't find that game interesting to watch anymore.
League? You've
Yeah,
given up?
like
Why?
I
Because
just
you're a Dota snob now.
yeah, I guess I'm a Dota snob now. It's just I watch it and it's just frustrating to me how it doesn't compare. And what's
Man,
funny is that like before I would have called Dota snobs Dota snob, but now that I've played a bunch of Dota, I can kind of see their point.
man, oh, you
I mean,
just
it's not a bad game. It's just competitively, it's kind of dull. That's all.
man,
Just dull.
that's just no words for you right now. Just and they're just trying to. Okay, I don't really like League that much either. I mean, so.
You wouldn't even play a game. You wouldn't even play a game on principle. You're just like, nah, I ain't playing that league. I ain't playing that league. I at least played like 1,000 games of League of Legends. It's not like I'm just like throwing it against the wall for no fucking reason.
Yeah. Well, I'm playing Smite. I'm still look. So you know how far I've gotten on Dota. Like I played it. I played against bots like months and months ago when I got in. And then I was like, this game is just like League to me. And then I stopped playing. And then you, Tense, and Sean have been talking about it nonstop. So then I opened up Steam because I put the automatic updates. I canceled it for it in Steam. So then I updated it the other day and fired it up. No, I wouldn't say that. It was like last week. Fired it up and then just looked at the UI and I didn't click on anything. Then I closed it because I don't want to get too involved. So every time I've been looking at it, every time I open up my library, I'm like, today a Dota 2 day? But see, now I got Battlefield. Good. I don't have to worry about trying to get into it.
You'll have Battlefield for like a week.
Oh, what do you mean? To the 15th?
It's gonna be like a week.
15th?
I don't think it'll last 2 weeks.
What, playing the same map?
It's just one map, right?
Yeah. One map, two game time.
Yeah, you won't last till the 15th.
Oh, come on, man. The conquest is huge. I'm good. One week, or I wouldn't even say week. I'll go 3 days of each. Like right now, I'm working on guns. Then I'll get into tanks. Then I'll try to get some aerial stuff. Good. I got it planned out. Plan of action.
I have my doubts.
Plan of action, man. Let me see what else. What else did I do? Did I play any other games other than State of Decay? I think I was playing a lot of Battlefield 3. Like the last 5 days have been all Battlefield, other than State of Decay. So I'm like breaking even, and I think it's mostly because I'm just running. Like I'm playing all these close quarter maps, and I've never really played them, so I don't know the maps.
Your
I'm
frame
like,
rate looks shitty, like to a point where you would be able to do
well,
anything.
Battlefield 3, I was breaking even. On this one, I don't know what my KD is.
Oh, okay.
Probably about the same. I'm starting because I know the map, like I know where people are going to be, but I'm still just like instead of playing like I normally would play Battlefield, I'm like running at people trying to challenge them, and it's like you die way too often trying to do that.
I saw you just wandering towards their spawn over and over.
Yeah, I was like, I just got to get into action because I'm just trying to get the gun game down. That's all I've been doing is playing Battlefield. I'm not burned out yet, man. Good.
You only played like 3 games.
I know. That's what I said. I'm good. I played.
You have 14 days to go.
I played hours and hours. I literally stayed up all of last night. This is the longest gaming binge I've done in a while. But I stayed up from the time I got home from work, which was like 7, all the way up until 4 a.m. because they came out at 3. And then I tried to play some games from 3 to 4. I got 3 good games, and after that, it was just bad stuff. I don't want to get too much further into that. So that's all with weekend stuff for me. So let's go into MLG Dota 2 season. I'm gonna let you speak on it since you're the Dota 2 man of the hour.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting that MLG is pushing Dota this hard because they're essentially trying to replace StarCraft with it. They haven't openly said that, but I think that this announcement in particular pretty much confirms that that's what the goal is. So they're doing, it'll be at Columbus, and then they announced it'll be at the 2014 championships, which will be in Anaheim. And between now and then, there will be 4 seasons for North American teams to compete for $15,000 per event for a total of 60 grand. That's 8 North American teams participating in that league. And then 8 international teams will come in for the championship. So it'll be half in North America, half international. And then the championships will be $150,000 at Anaheim. So it's interesting because Dota North American community is pretty shitty. Like you have EG, you have Liquid, and then like you have some teams that have American players or Canadian players, but they don't necessarily like they're not a North American team. And then you have the NA Dota community, which is it's like toxic pub stars, just banding together for teams. And I was watching a couple of MLG matches, and that's basically all it was just toxic pub stars running pub star strategies. It was rough to watch.
Do you think that the 4 of you that have been playing consistently could have competed against the players that were playing?
I doubt it. I mean, it's people who have been playing Dota for like 10 years, right? Like they're not bad mechanically or anything. They just don't take it seriously.
Seriously? Okay.
So with $60,000 on the line and an actual league going on, maybe that'll change. There'll be more teams actually trying. but it's just a complete joke, right?
Those pub stars.
So really, they're just trying to foster a North American community for Dota, which hasn't existed. At least it's not even like StarCraft, where it was at least there because of WCG and stuff. They just haven't really had that many North American tournaments
Do you
with
feel like
with any meaning behind them. I guess that's the caveat I need to add.
um, we kind of touched on this I want to say it was a couple weeks ago, but um, StarCraft 2 kind of on the decline. I think it's pretty noticeable. Uh, but viewership wise, it seems like it would still be a mainstay for MLG. I think we kind of talked about Blizzard kind of messing that up potentially with MLG.
Yeah, with WCS.
Okay. So do you think that all right, so League has LCS, Blizzard has WCS, Dota 2 and Valve, they have the international. They could do something with that. Do you think MLG is kind of getting into a bad situation where they're potentially losing out on the competitive scene because all of these devs are kind of stepping up and replacing them, so to speak?
Yeah, I'd say that's a possibility. It's kind of like I still think MLG is able to command the dollars from the devs that don't want to do their own stuff. Like I still think they're able to say, "Hey, we can run a league for your game, so you don't have to deal with any of that stuff." Uh, I'm not sure that's what happened in the Dota's case, but I'm sure it happened in Call of Duty's case. I don't know. It's kind of weird having MLG only have two games
It
in
is.
general. Like, and it's kind of a weird selection of games after everything's rotated in and out. There's no like mainstay. Call of Duty's only been with MLG for 2 years now, and then like if you count the online crap they did for a while, like 3 to 4 years,
Since
and then
say 08.
yeah, then this is the first Dota event at an actual tournament for Columbus. So it's kind of weird not seeing MLG at least have some kind of foundation or rock which they're kind of building off of. They're just continually starting the slate clean whenever they have to hop games.
Man, I just feel like they're treading some dangerous water right now, like by not supporting some of the like I would continue to support StarCraft 2. I would just continue to do it like as best I could.
I do think
Um
StarCraft is going to fall behind Dota if it hasn't already, and I think it already has
and I think it has already.
in terms of global viewership.
But I almost feel like they're pigeonholing themselves into like a situation where they might lose that command. You know what I mean? It's like, well, devs can just do it and it'll be bigger and it makes more sense. The only thing that they seem like they're good for is kind of facilitating like large numbers of stations at this point.
I think the weird thing about MLG is that they've kind of lost the view of being like a upstart company that you want to support. You know what I mean? Because they've kind of gone corporate. I guess is what I'm trying to allude to. Is like it used to be when MLG picked up your game, you all rallied around MLG. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that was like MLG crowning your game as worthy or whatever, and then the community would rally around. For COD, MLG is just another event
yeah,
to a lot of those guys. I think
yeah.
they have their championship each year, which I think is the big money. But then obviously they practice for MLG, they practice for UMG, but they're just events along the way. For Dota, that's really just an event for those guys, for the international people for sure. For North America, I don't know how seriously they're even going to take it, realistically. So I
Yeah.
mean, like, there's no MLG doesn't have that anymore, where they can be like, yeah, we're supporting your game, so come build around us. Like that just isn't something which happens anymore.
Yeah. That's, I mean, I kind of deviated on the topic a little bit. But yeah, that's something that I've kind of been. I mean, you basically hit it on the nail, or hit it on the head. But it's like they don't have the same vibe with the smaller communities because it's almost like you already know that you don't have a chance, so you can't even rally behind them and be like, yeah, support our game because you know it's not going to happen. Other
Right.
than
And that
maybe,
ultimately someone has to pay, right?
yeah,
Like MLG is
the,
not going to be in it with you. Like they're either going to be in it because someone paid them, or they aren't going to be in it at all. Like they're not going to have that kind of give and take where Halo knew that MLG needed them, and then the Halo guys definitely needed MLG. But now it's like if someone picks up the game, then MLG's in need and they can lose them because they've got the money to run it up front. Like they don't need the entry fees, they don't need the viewers even in a lot of cases. So it
Yeah.
doesn't. There's not really a give and take there. It's just like, hey, if you got paid to run the game, then we're gonna run it. And they were talking about doing all these stuff with other games, like exhibitions and pulling in other communities, but that never happened. It never happened. They haven't even done it online. They haven't even tried to do anything with online.
I think the only thing that they did was that Max Payne thing, and that wasn't even.
That was paid promotion stuff. Same thing with PlanetSide.
Exactly.
Same thing with PlanetSide.
Exactly. It has not been something where they've kind of exactly what you said, crowned the game and been like, hey guys, we're gonna have this. Was Uncharted paid too? Uncharted 3?
I'd assume so, because they didn't do anything with it afterwards. Like every single time, like there was the initial PR push and then nothing after. So it just doesn't make sense to me, like what they're doing.
Trixie, that's a good point. I would really like to see MLG be more of a PAX of esports, but maybe that's not feasible for them. But I really think that they could kind of command some dev support. Be like, hey, come to these events.
That's basically what CPL was, right? Like CPL at one point when it wasn't corrupt and flailing. I mean, it was essentially PAX because everyone would go there and it would be like tons of games, but there's tournaments all over the place, but it's like everyone coming together in one building.
Kind of.
For an event.
Kind of. But they didn't have the right people.
And WCG also was filling that gap when they had like 9 or 10 titles running, and then you got to the North American Championships, and it was all those games together.
And Twitch wasn't around.
Yep. Now, if Twitch was around and CPL and WCG were able to leverage that correctly, then it could have been huge.
Yeah. Interesting. Just kind of thinking about where MLG is, where they've been, where they're at, and where they're going. I would love to we need to get Sony on the show. I think he'd do it. I don't think he's too corporate yet. No, I think it would be good.
Got contracts.
Let's see here. You want to hop into Steam or you want to go to Battlefield? Battlefield's not going to be all me talking. I'm going to talk about how I feel about the game, but then we can talk about the game types, which is what I kind of want to talk about a lot.
Sure.
So you want to go into that or Steam?
We can go to Battlefield.
All right.
Keep it light.
I'm gonna start off and saying what's up with your comment on the vid.
I'm just saying the footage looks a little bit like Battlefield 3. Actually, it looks a lot like Battlefield 3. Granted, you're playing on low graphics because of frame rate issues with the beta.
Yeah.
But it pretty much is Battlefield 3. Like, as much as we give COD shit about looking the same every year, like, it's pretty much the same.
Listen, I'm
not sure what they can do because it's essentially a arcade sim. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure how you would make it look different or how you would change things. But at the end of the day, like,
there are some visual aspects of it that look the same as Battlefield 3 visually. The game doesn't feel the same. It feels like they've made significant improvements to some of the things that I really disliked about the Battlefield franchise, other than maybe modern combat. But as soon as they got to Bad Company and Bad Company 2, then into BF3, I always felt like the gun gameplay didn't feel responsive. Like you would shoot somebody, and then they do that like delay death.
Yeah, that did look better.
And it feels that feels a lot.
In the sense they actually die like when they should have died when the message appears on your screen.
Now, there have been a few times. Now, my ping has been absolutely phenomenal on every single server that I've played on. It's been like 30 below, with the exception of a couple. And those couple, I did start to notice, like, I'd shoot someone and then I'd have a couple of delayed deaths. But for the most part, it felt much more responsive for the gun gameplay than any Battlefield other than Modern Combat that I've played so far. So that immediately struck me as a significant improvement because that delay lag bullshit is just terrible, because you'll shoot at someone and then you're like, oh, you'll see all the hit indicators, boop 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 boop, all right, he's dead, and then you turn and the dude isn't dead, and you're like, what the fuck? So
And then he falls over.
then he falls over, and so it's like you waste ammo. It's like it's part of the issues that kind of talked about before with Battlefield. Just I think amongst us ourselves. Um, the I mean, I really want to enjoy the visuals. Like I tried turning it on ultra and walking around, but the frames drop so bad. Like I might have to go into an empty server and just walk around and look at it in ultra just so I can see what it actually. But I guess the issue with the frames dropping are that your CPU is maxing out based off whatever they need to patch.
It's not using the GPU.
And it's not using the GPU properly. So that's at least what a lot of people have expressed that have really high end CPUs. They're checking their CPU and it's maxed out 98 to 100%. So yeah, I have all the drivers at this point, and it's still not great. So, and this isn't just something that's for me. I've seen multiple, like if you look through videos, comments, you read stuff. I was reading Google Plus. I'm going to talk about that here in a second. But Google Plus comments, YouTube comments, on Twitter, on the Battlefield forums. Everyone is talking about the frame rates dropping. So it isn't just me. It isn't just a thing where I haven't updated the drivers. This is a real issue. So
it's all right though. It's just beta. They have what, like 4 months to fix it, right? They have like 4 months.
You know what people are saying? They're rallying behind the, oh, it's just an old build. didn't people say that last year with BF3?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just an old build. Don't worry.
Old build. It's probably already fixed.
Everything will be okay. And then when the game came out,
it was already fixed. They would have had a hot fix for the beta.
And then when they came out, it was just shit.
Yeah.
It was exactly like
like that. And then they fixed it like a month later.
So I just hope that everyone watching, please understand that when they release something a month before the game comes out, again, Colin and I work in the industry. You release the fucking demo a month before the game comes out, that means the game is still fucked up on launch. So they're going to have to hotfix it probably on launch to fix whatever the issues are. Just so you guys know. Remember, this happened last year.
If they do that, which doesn't matter. If
don't get brand new on us, people. Don't get brand new. This shit happened once already. All right? We cool? All right. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, there was an issue where something happened. I was uploading a video while I was playing, and during that time period, it was like 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, where I would hop into a game, and after every 3 minutes, it would crash. So I don't know what was happening, but it would just crash. So everything would freeze, and I had to alt tab out. And that happened once today, where I crashed. And I don't know what necessarily was different. I wasn't uploading anything, but it crashed a couple times while I've been playing the beta. So that's kind of something I expected. I don't know if they have fixes for that, but maybe some other people have had some similar things. I do have video footage of it too, so I might post a couple of them. Just I'm playing, everything freezes, goes white, game crashes. Okay. But other than that, dude, I played Assault. Assault feels awesome. Engineer, whatever weapon that he has, it's an MK something that the engineer has. I don't like their weapon. I like the little red dot scope. I don't remember what the hell it's called. But that scope is nice. The gun though, I just hate it. The AK, whatever that AK-17, AK something that the assault was using, is beast. Like if I wanted to play for reals, I would just run over people with that. Just setting up, it's so nice. Feels good. There's a power weapon too. I don't know if you saw that when I picked it up.
Power weapon?
Yeah, it was a sniper laying down on the ground.
Are you sure he wasn't someone?
No,
someone died?
listen. No one died. We had just spawned, and I saw a box. It was a crate in a box, and I looked. It's AK-12. Okay, I looked down, and there was a sniper.
Maybe it was a kill streak.
No one died around me. Yeah, see, look, people are saying they're power weapons now. Tricks, dude, watch that video. I'm just telling you. I literally spawned in. I'm sitting there walking. I look down and I'm like, is that a sniper? I pick it up, and dude, I was one shot. I hit somebody in the stomach or body, one shot. And I was trying to do again. I was still trying to run at people. So I was I was in there running. So I mean, I was just playing stupid.
But is there a torque
Um,
bow?
no, there wasn't. I mean, there's the
Actually, I guess
expo.
that's one of the weapons, anyways.
There's an expo, yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely power weapons on the map. So I thought that was pretty cool. Um, let me say, haven't played a full support game, and I also haven't played a full scout game because I was crashing during the time period. So those are the only two I haven't played a whole lot of. Engineer had a couple good games. I'll post some of those gameplays on my channel, and Amazing MLG just post as many gameplays as possible. Kind of like how Colin and I did the beta episodes for years. We just stockpiled and then we posted, although it's not the same time period. That was an actual beta, guys.
There's actually a time between release.
There was an actual beta that we played, not this marketing demo bullshit. So let's go ahead and talk about. I don't want to get too far into the mechanics when I haven't really played in depth yet to talk more about the game. I've been playing nothing but domination. Played one game of conquest, and I just didn't have the time to walk around or hop into a tank because the maps are just huge. So I just wanted to play and shoot. So can't really talk too much on all that stuff. But game type wise, Dice released some info. Colin. Listen, all right. Listen.
It's my next purchase. I just got the car.
Listen,
It's my next purchase.
You just got a car and you can't even get a webcam?
It's my next purchase.
You can't even get You're balling over there. You
There
can't
we
even
go.
get a webcam?
It's my next purchase.
You sitting there on a cracker box?
Have I shown it on the show? I think I showed it when I was
Go
solo.
ahead and
Yeah.
show people your cracker box. Show them the Gears thing. Colin has this thing set up on a cracker box, literally, and with Gears of War Judgment as a prop. This dude just bought a Mustang. He can't get a webcam.
My next purchase. Had to save up for that down payment.
Oh.
What sucks is I have to balance it with the volume stuff on the bottom of my phone. So it's like it's barely balancing because if I have it the other way, it does the skyless flip.
Oh, comments, at least Gal J is good for something.
That's funny, but it's not.
Oh, that's messed up. All right, so back on track after we. I'm just gonna put a fun together for you, dude.
I swear it's my next
sick of it.
purchase.
I'm sick of it.
It'll probably be next show or maybe the one after.
I'm sick of it.
Actually, probably the one after.
Okay, so anyway, Dice released some game types. Well, not some, all of the game types. So I just kind of wanted to ramble through those. And look, Colin, look at this game. Look at this little thing. Yeah, we're on the game types. Look in the bottom right corner. That's a little slide. I'm getting fancy.
Wow.
Getting fancy. So it's only 4 pictures. Those are straight from the site. But we have. I'm gonna just ramble through all of them: conquest, domination, obliteration, diffusionation, team deathmatch, squad deathmatch, and then rush. I think I missed anything. All right, so obviously there's some mainstays. You got rush. Don't want to talk about. Those are the stations. You have income stations with the bomb you plant. Yeah. Then you have conquest, tried and true battlefield, flag points, killing people, control the points, and domination, making a return from BF3 Close Quarters DLC. That is basically like domination from Call of Duty. The only thing I don't really like is because they pack it with so many people, it is non-stop chaos. Like, it is very hectic to play domination on Battlefield, given the team sizes. And that's the only thing I don't really like about that. Team deathmatch making a comeback, and then squad deathmatch also making a comeback from BF3. So new game types, obliteration, and what am I missing? Diffuse.
Yeah. Is we were kind of speculating as to how obliteration actually played. That's not in the beta, is it?
Uh, it's not.
Because there was some confusion as to where the bombs spawn or how that works.
Yeah, so I this is directly from them. The bomb spawns at a random location. I imagine it might rotate in a couple random locations, various ones. So you probably want to camp a couple spots, but you arm it at one of three objectives. Hashtag skies in skyless webcam. No, skyless. I don't even know what fund we should. Someone come up with a hashtag fund for this dude's webcam because it's just ridiculous.
It's hard to balance. Hold on.
Just ridiculous.
Yes. All right, go on. You were saying?
Oh man. All right, so anyway, bomb randomly spawns at a different location. You arm one of three objectives. That objective blows up, then it'll spawn again, and then you continue on until I believe all of the objectives are destroyed. So that is basically the description that I kind of took away from that.
Is it neutral bomb then? Like,
It's basically neutral bomb.
what happens if you like get the disarm? Can they just arm it again at one of the spots?
I have no idea.
No.
So
I'm still confused on that game type.
Do you want to hear a quote from the article?
Sure.
It's partly inspired by American football. So, you know what that led me to believe? They want this to be a large-scale spectator game mode.
Eh.
Because it's easy to follow where the action is going.
They also said Diffuse was based on competitive play. The same.
Either way, I think I think I'll spend my time playing
Conquest?
maybe some Conquest, Domination, Squad DM, if you guys are all on, and Obliteration. The most time is going to be spent playing Diffuse. I'm not going to play Rush. So? What? Dude, it's bomb game mode. It's a bomb game type.
It could be good. I just don't... It's not made for it. You know how like their method of map design is to make this giant mile by mile long map and then just like sanction off this square map and be like, this is a diffuse map. Like they do that all the time. You remember playing Bad Company too, on these maps that were made for Conquest. And it's like, let's just shoehorn this into a rush map for 4v4.
You had to cover so much area.
Yeah, like you think about Counter-Strike and it's like there's 2 or 3 routes generally to the bomb sites. But like when we were playing those maps in Bad Company 2, it was like 4 or 5 different routes to get to the bombs.
That's true. But Colin,
I'm just saying, like the maps aren't made for it. But yes, it's a bomb game type, and I'm sure it's fun.
Listen, you're Mr. Advocate for bomb. You and I both.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it, but I would prefer maps were actually made around it instead of just like sectioning off a part of the map.
This is why you're the destroyer of fun. You can't just be excited. You're like, no.
I'm too reasonable. That's my fault. Like, my fault is that I'm too reasonable.
If they just made it like Perfect Dark 0 and did the sectioning off correctly, then it'd be fantastic.
I mean, realistically, you have to design the map around the smallest mode and then build around it, right? Like, that'd be the correct way to do it?
Yeah.
But they've always done big maps first.
Listen, in the description, it says competitive close quarter combat.
Yep.
None of the other game types say competitive.
The thing which sticks out to me is that they at least definitely tested this because they have it so you can only be revived once, which you remember playing in the Bad Company 2 tournament when we were just chain reviving. Where it was just like a row of 4 people just pounding the revives. So it would be like 14 revives in the course of like 15 seconds as we're getting mowed down. So at least they clearly tested it um, and gave it some thought. But yeah, it's single life in case we didn't mention that
Single
already.
life with
5v5.
yeah, you can only be revived once per round. Listen, I'm excited. I think I'm gonna spend the most time playing that. Honestly,
It's largely dependent on the maps though.
maybe. The other thing is like this isn't
And,
well.
and like pickoffs and stuff. I don't know. It's gonna be weird.
I'm kind of wondering because there's 5v5. I feel like 5v5 has a certain map size that works, and depending on if they go console is always 4v4 with competitive anyway. That might fall apart if it goes 4v4 competitive. Now PC side, I think that it's fine. If leagues or whatever pick it up, they say, okay, we're going to use this because it makes sense. Teams don't have to be humongous. And I honestly see this as being the game mode that they push for the $1.6 million tournament. This is it, Colin. That's it.
1.6. Intentional. One, one, $1.6 million tournament on Diffuse.
Yeah.
I find it unlikely just because vehicles is a really major battlefield selling point.
But
I guess you can still have vehicles in 5v5 technically.
Yeah.
Just
Doom buggies.
Doom buggy. Just getting the chopper.
Then you got Team TDM. I just same squad deathmatch. I think is kind of interesting. Four squads fight for top scoreboard. That's directly from it. The only other thing I kind of want to mention is all of the modes that have commander mode enabled, which is basically you're going to be able to play from a tablet. Have they said what it's going to be supporting? Is it iOS? Android? Is it everything?
Yeah. I think it's everything.
Everything? Okay. So basically you take the role of a commander. Very vague. I know there's a video on it somewhere.
You can call out points to attack and stuff.
Yeah, you can call out points.
Pretty much it.
And I think you can put in like missile strikes, so air strikes, like call them in. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw that happen, but I'm not entirely sure. Audio lag on who, Michael?
I don't see any on my end.
Okay. All right. Good. As long as it's not overlapping.
No, it's fine.
All right. But yeah, so the commander mode is in. I didn't see it for TDM. I saw it for Conquest, Rush, Obliteration, and others are still up in the air. So I'm not sure if it's in TDM. Could be.
It's basically the big modes.
Basically all the big ones.
Yeah.
So and I really am interested to see how it works. Do you know if they've said that this is something that you have to pay for? I think that's what I'm kind of waiting on.
I believe it's free. It's part of Battle Log.
So is it like if you have the game, you log into your account, then you can be in commander mode?
Pretty sure. Because you can also use it to like change loadouts and stuff.
Okay. Because what my concern was, they're going to try to get people that, oh, well, yeah, you can play Battlefield even if you don't own the game. You only have to pay $5.99 for this app. And
no, it's either free entirely or you have to have the game. I'm not sure.
I gotta get some.
Pretty sure you need Battle Log.
I'm pretty sure there's an article on it. I haven't checked that one.
Just boot up your phone. I think it's live in the beta. I think so. Wouldn't look it up now.
I can look it up now. If I will, though. So yeah, that's pretty much it for all of the game modes. I mean, what do you see yourself playing? System, game mode. Where you at? Where's your mind at with Battlefield?
I don't know. If I get it, it'll probably be on Xbox. If I get it, I'm not sure. I'm not sold on it yet.
You're not sold, Colin. It's Battlefield.
I'm still not sold.
It's Colin. It's Battlefield.
Still not sold.
Do you realize we came in third place in a tournament, and you're talking about I'm not sold?
I just haven't like there hasn't been any competitive mentions really.
Yeah, I just said competitive. I said diffusal, as in the description.
Sorry, there hasn't been any kind of tournaments at all.
Colin.
I don't know. I might buy it for Xbox One. But probably not PC, just because I can't play shooters for long periods of time on PC. Like I can play for like 2-3 hour stretches, but I can't do like I can't hardcore a PC game
So,
as a shooter.
so right now it's gonna be tense, and that's it. Is Sean gonna play? Sean getting it on PC? So
I don't know.
me, tense, and Sean. How you just? I'm gonna. You know what? I know who I can get to play. Danny.
Get Danny. Not on PC. Might be able to get him on the next generation. I don't know.
Oh yeah, tense. I'm already conceding. I'm already conceding to the fact that I'm more than likely going to get both.
Yeah, like right now I'm just having a hard time justifying because I didn't play Battlefield 3 that much after they like weren't gonna do the tournament. I
What's
just
up,
couldn't.
Milky?
I didn't feel like I wanted to keep playing. I just don't like military shooters. I think that's like at the root of my issue. I just don't like military shooters.
How can you? Come on. You got
It's just
paid. You got paid playing the military shooter.
it's just boring. I don't know. Like unless we're going hard, it's boring.
I'm going hard.
You're going hard. It just doesn't like. Part of it's the squads don't mean anything to me. You know what I mean? Like some people get excited about like getting with their squad and playing, but like the squad system to me is just like a limitation. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like I'm tied to the squad
Yeah, I mean, Modern Combat did it better.
because you have to spawn on the squads. Like that's pretty much what you have to do, and you're just tied into that. I don't. I just don't. Haven't been a fan. Modern Combat was fun as shit. Battlefield 2 was, or Bad Company was okay. That was more about finding which ways we can break the game.
Yeah, basically.
And then the matches were fun because it was super close. I don't know.
Just full of disappointment.
I haven't seen any military shooter I've been excited about in a long time.
You just played Warface. You said it was decent.
I had more fun with Warface than I would with Battlefield, I think.
Oh, come on.
Because the maps are small. Maps are appropriately sized.
You're just talking craziness right now.
All right, here. If I see some diffuse footage and the maps are actually small, then I'll buy it 100%. But if the maps are pretty big, then I'm gonna have a hard time justifying it.
You're nonsense. You're making people leave. Look at that. Look at the
You guys
chat.
haven't even played. You haven't even played Warface. You haven't even played.
I'm not.
You haven't even played.
I already know it's not going to be better than Battlefield.
Haven't even played.
Crazy.
Warface isn't really Killzone-ish at all.
All right. I can't even. We can't even talk about this. I got to move on. We're going to just go in the team because just nonsense. People. Steam OS machines.
Here, I'll challenge this.
Oh no, I'm gonna say
Of the people that bought Battlefield 4 already in our chat, which I think is maybe only like a half dozen or so, but if you watch the show and you bought Battlefield 4, I'm gonna check again in 3 months and see if you're still playing it. And we'll see how many people are actually still playing in 3 months.
I mean, there's so many games that are gonna listen. A lot of people are gonna jump ship when Titanfall comes out.
Well, that's not. And Titanfall won't be out.
I know it won't be in 3 months.
Titanfall won't be out. There's gonna be pretty much nothing out, really. It's like the next gen stuff.
Wait. So what do you think people are gonna play if they jump ship?
I just
Call
don't
of
think they'll
Duty?
be playing Battlefield. I just think they'll be doing nothing. Might be playing Call of Duty. Might be playing whatever their friends play.
You're saying that next gen is right around the corner, and in 3 months, people are gonna be jumping ship on Battlefield?
I think it's possible.
That is not. They're gonna be playing Rise, Son of Rome, and
Playing-
slicing people up.
they're, they're all gonna be playing Dota. I'll
Dota?
finally converted
Okay.
everybody.
Okay. All right.
I'm just saying, like 3 months from now, I think that the majority of people won't be playing Battlefield.
Okay. I'm not.
Especially like, I mean, like the guys who've been playing Battlefield 3 from launch to now, they'll be playing Battlefield. But the guys that play Battlefield 3 at launch and then quit playing, they won't be playing in 3 months.
Okay,
I
that's a
can
fair assessment. That's
I can say
fair.
that pretty definitively.
That's a fair assessment.
We move on to
So
Steam.
yeah, on the Steam, Rise of the Steam Machine. So
Did
you like that? You like that?
All right, go on.
You like that, right? Just you like that?
The Rise of the Steam Machine.
Rise of the Steam Machine.
Which is also a a documentary name from 1800.
So
The Rise of the Steam Machines.
so I think last week we started on the OS, kind of speculated on that. At this point in time, I think that for anyone watching the show, basically in a nutshell, we kind of speculated on what we thought the Steam OS meant and who would partner with them with hardware and all that stuff, and then what else they could possibly have that store for us. So I think we were spot on with the money because you said that I don't even remember the symbols. Battlefield.
Well, we were kind of on the money. I don't think we got the last one right.
We didn't get the last one right because people were guessing a game.
But the box was really obvious.
So there's the controller. I have the Steam stuff rotating with the controller stuff. First, let me talk about the machines before we get on that controller. So hardware wise, they have they announced any partners? I don't think they have.
No, they have not announced any partners.
Okay, so the only
The,
thing
the initial beta machine is being made by Valve.
okay, so the only thing that they have announced is that 300, which is the smallest sample size ever based on their community, and
It's because it's an actual beta.
yeah, because it's an actual beta. Now, 300 people are going to be given access. Based on the wording of it, it seems like they already have some kind of people set in mind for S testers, and then after they fill that certain predetermined amount, then the rest of them are going to be at random. And then in order to be eligible for this 300 person beta, you had to complete 5 steps, which
Basically,
were
you
all
jump
pretty
through a
easy.
few hoops, yeah.
Yeah, it was all pretty easy. So if like you were too lazy to do it, then I mean you just didn't really want to try. But I'm sure there's like probably a million people that have probably gone through it already. Um, because within like 2 minutes it went from like 100 to 12,000 to like I don't know, it was like 100,000 by the time I stopped. So
So they'll
um,
give out 300 golden tickets with the candy bar.
so I mean I'm pretty excited,
Do you think we'll see any of them pop up on eBay?
of course.
How much do you think it'll sell for?
I told people in our meeting at Edge, I was like, I would sell mine for 10,000.
I bet you could. I bet you
I think I
sell
could get
for
away
that.
with it for 10,000. So
Assuming
if
Valve
you're,
didn't shut you down somehow.
I mean, and they said you could pretty much do whatever you want. They're like, hey, post video, do whatever,
Yeah.
talk about it. We want this and that. Okay, I'm gonna sell mine.
I would start up a website saying I was going to destroy it unless
You're
I
gonna,
made, unless I was paid $30,000, like that the old thing with the cat. I think it was a cat, wasn't it?
I think so. I was thinking about the dude that takes electronics and like microwaves them or destroys them. I can't remember what the
You're
dude
talking
is
about
that does that.
Will It Blend? Yeah.
Yeah, will it blend? Yeah. Oh man, you know he's gonna do that. That's gonna be brutal to watch. But um, so I think there's a couple things that are interesting to talk about with the machines. One, price point. Obviously, this is, in my opinion, direct competition with the consoles on the market. Valve, or I'm sorry, Nintendo.
It was
They
a
want
bunny. Sorry, he was gonna kill his bunny if he
bunny.
wasn't paid money.
Okay. Uh, Nintendo.
He's actually going to eat it, not just kill it.
Is he gonna cook it?
Yeah, so like his pictures were like the bunny inside of a pan on the top of the stove. Eventually, he like made a bunch of money because they spared the bunny.
Wow. So Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, basically competition here with the consoles that they have: Wii U, Xbox 360 slash Xbox One, PS3 slash PS4, and those for the most part, and this is what you kind of hit on last week, Colin, was they all operate, excluding Nintendo, because I don't know what the hell they operate on, but the x86 architecture, which is basically the structure for PC, makes it very easy for uh, developers to create games on and do cross-platform work. And their OS is Linux based, which I don't know developer wise how easy it is to develop a game for Linux. It probably depends on who you talk to, but this is a different OS, different ecosystem, so to speak, and in my opinion, a different market. So if they come in at the wrong price point, I think they're going to lose attention immediately. I think they can get away with a tiered pricing system, which is what I think they had on as information on that on the Steam machines, like
Yeah, there's
fact
gonna
page.
be a bunch of different machines from different manufacturers with different specs, sizes, prices. So like, there's no continuity between them,
So
except for the Steam OS. Like that's the only thing which all of them have.
right. So I mean, one of the things that consoles have going for them is that regardless of the price point that you pay, really the only difference that you're getting is either more games or more memory. With this, you could be getting different specs, so that means the games will play differently, they'll perform differently, um, and obviously the different price points. But I don't know if the hardware would necessarily make things more difficult or less difficult because the controllers is universal. But I think there is something there with graphical prowess of a game that on a $400 machine versus a game on a $1,000 machine. So that could cause a couple hiccups trying to compete with the console market. Again, I don't know who they're targeting necessarily, but I think it's those guys. And I don't know. I'm not sold on their plan with the machines. Like if it was one system that I knew I was buying versus the tier thing that they're doing right out the gate, I would be more happy about it. Uh,
So at the end of the day, they're selling just PCs, right? Like
what it sounds like.
really, they're selling PCs, but instead of being loaded with Windows, which can cost around $100, $150, it's being loaded with SteamOS on Linux, which would be free. So they should be able to undercut the costs of building a PC on Windows by saying, hey, we have our OS loaded in, and we can charge you $100 less for the same amount of hardware, essentially.
Yeah.
Uh, if you're just play games on it, then it might not matter, except for the fact that all the games don't run on Linux currently.
Exactly.
Uh, so you would need to stream it from a Windows PC. Uh, the other benefit they have is that in the long term, they can develop things specifically for that platform without having to jump around Windows hoops. And the rumor that Windows is going to kind of start closing some of the gates that they currently have in terms of having a marketplace and that kind of stuff. So like that's the long term stuff. As far as if you can actually make that happen, I really don't think they will be able to because Windows is so ingrained. And obviously, like if I buy a PC for $800, I'm gonna want to do more than just play games on it. Like really, they're
Yeah.
targeting people who are buying an additional PC strictly as a game machine for their living room, which is kind of a weird market if you aren't going to be charging the same as consoles do. It's really hard to pitch, and it's not as user friendly as a console generally. I wouldn't think. Uh,
And then on top of that, they're gonna have a ramp up to catch up with the apps, Netflix and
yeah,
Amazon and all that stuff that you have on both the PlayStation and even the Nintendo in some cases, but PlayStation and Microsoft, they have all these apps. Then you're gonna come in with a new OS that whoever, one of those companies has to be like, okay, is it worth our while to put Netflix on this machine so that people can stream it to their system or to their in their living room. And they haven't even talked really about that necessarily in depth, but I think that's a cause to be like, is it really worth the investment? Because this is personally not something I'm interested in seeing what it can do, but I'm not interested in really buying it because I can already play the games that they would be pushing out. And on my TV right now, we already have a spot for games, and I just don't think that fits right now. But maybe I'll be persuaded. We'll see. The last bit of this, perhaps the funniest, and here's a little story. At work on Friday when they announced this last week, everyone's like, "Oh man, Steam OS, that sounds pretty cool. Steam machines, okay, that's not bad. Steam controller, what is that shit?"
It was funny because they announced it right at 12, which is our lunchtime at work, and of course I clicked it open like right at 12, and someone was walking by, and he was walking by, and he must have got a glimpse of my screen. He's like, "What the fuck?" That was all he said. What's funny is that it coincided exactly with what I was thinking because I had just opened up the page. I scrolled down. I was just about to say the exact same thing. What the fuck? What is that?
The controller from outer space.
Yeah.
It's a moon controller from the moon people.
All that said, you might remember, I swear it was on this show, I think it was, where I was talking about how controllers need to find some like big innovation that moves past the joystick. And then I talked, I believe, about possibly doing like trackballs or something
Yeah.
like that. Like just something that was different because the joystick method of aiming is not the end all be all. Like it's not necessarily even that good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's become the standard, so it's what we're all used to. So I'm kind of interested to see how they do. Although I'm not necessarily sold on trackpads being the best solution of the bunch. Uh, I would have liked to have seen something that still used the sticks, but it used like lasers or optics on the other side instead of the current like potentiometers we're using now. So like that's what I would have thought would be the next step in terms of precision and consistency. The trackpad solution I think has a lot of potential issues, and it's gonna be a matter of trying it.
I don't feel like um where you know those mice that have the huge thumb used to guide. It's like an optical
Yeah, it's
thing.
a ball.
It's a
It's a
ball.
trackball.
It's a
Trackball.
trackball. It basically seems like it's two of those put on the joystick, and they just look. It's concave, so it looks weird. Um,
It's functionally extremely different than that, though.
yeah. But that's what it reminds me of how they talked about a trackpad, and I was like, oh, you know what, my uncle used to use a trackball on his mouse. I wonder if it's kind of like I wonder if it's gonna feel like that in terms of the responsiveness. Um, I am. I think the biggest thing that I have an issue with right now is just the design of it. The controller looks hideous. Looks literally like something from outer space. Um, Now, in terms of how it functions, how it feels, I don't know. But from a design standpoint, it doesn't look very appealing. I don't even know if it's going to be ergonomically good. Um, but there are some design questions I have, and I think the biggest thing that kind of raised the red flag for me wasn't really the trackpads, but it was the touch stuff, touch screens, and all that. I think there's even some touch stuff on the back, and I have not seen it done well on anything. I think
uh, I had read kind of how they're using the touchscreen. It's not going to be like a gameplay type thing. Um,
is it simply for logging in and
it can be something like a menu, so you can kind of like scroll through the menus, and then when you push, it's actually a button as well. It's like when you push in the button, then the stuff that's on your mini screen would pop up on your main screen. So you don't actually look down at the controller at all. You would just kind of thumb through real quick and then hit the button. So it's not like it's actually any kind of gameplay thing, and it's not going to be in the beta units.
okay, well, that's good
And
because
the
I
Mac
would
doesn't have
just
any touchscreen.
I would just continue to use that beta controller even when the touch screen came out.
It looks a little bulky, like the touch portion would look bulky.
Yeah. I just heard my daughter is walking right now. Hold on. I'll be right. I want to see something. I'll be right back, guys. Oh. Oh my God. Our daughter is walking as of today. She's taking steps.
She
A
just
lot.
walked from the kitchen.
She walked from the kitchen. You guys heard it live on the show. She's walking.
She
Hi.
thinks I'm too around. Oh. Go,
Okay, that's.
oh my god.
Yeah. So anyway,
Now she's like, hey. You walked in here.
oh, that's pretty
Excited
nice,
to walk
guys.
today?
But yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought. I was going to talk about the back of the controller. The back of the controller is also something that I think is potentially. It's are there
Oh
two
my gosh.
It looks like they're paddles. Like
paddles?
I think it's like the scuff.
Okay, so that's what I was kind of wondering, if it was paddles or if it was like a physical button that you're like holding in there. I like a grip. I wasn't quite sure based on the design, but
It looks like a paddle, but it wasn't really that clear as to how that's set up. Like they didn't call it a paddle. They just said 2 buttons. It looked like there's like one on the shoulder and then there's the paddle.
so those are some things that I'm kind of wondering how they're gonna feel. I think that I've held a scuff. I held a Hastros. Those feel good. Obviously, the Sabertooth feels good. I think there's potential there for controllers to have
More stuff on the back.
buttons on the back. So I do like that design idea, and kind of capitalizing on it. I feel like Microsoft kind of didn't capitalize on it, and I feel like also Sony didn't really capitalize on it. But Sony's controller doesn't really
Work for
have
that.
any work. Yeah, it's just too skinny for that. But
My primary concern isn't the buttons on the back; it's the ones on the front because they're placed on the inside of the controller. So if you go off the touchpad to hit the button that's right next to the touchpad, then when you come back, your finger's going to drag across the touchpad. Like that's something you think about with a regular controller with a stick. Like it's always resetting back to normal, and you have to move it from normal.
yeah,
But with the touchpad, like you're gonna be able to drag from the edges when you go to the middle. So I'm not really sure how that's calibrated, or if maybe they have detection to make sure you don't do that. But it seems
that's a
like that
good
could
point.
really screw you up in a shooter if like I have to go hit A to jump or something, and then when I come back to the stick, like I have to get my thumb right in the middle of the touchpad in order for it to
without
not have
looking
any
down.
false any false movements.
Yeah, I didn't even think
And
about
again,
that.
like this is speculation, but it's something which comes up as a potential issue with that kind of format for anything more serious. Like I think that the format works great for stuff like playing an RTS or a strategy game, where you couldn't do that with a controller at all before. And now I think it makes a bit more sense, which is why they were going in this direction in the first place.
So all in all, if there were, let's say Nintendo was on the market, and Sega was back on the market, and Valve's thing was on the market, what would you buy?
Which Nintendo? Like you mean the Wii U?
The Wii U.
And then like Sega, you mean the Dreamcast? God, there's some awkward ass controllers. If you add in like the N64 controller, which was super awkward too.
Yeah,
Oh, I guess from that aspect, there's been some weird controllers which have
there
worked.
has.
Who would have thought that having a controller with 3 fucking prongs for 2 hands would work out okay? So I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I really want to try it. I'm a big controller person, so I'm gonna get one regardless in order to try it out.
Wait,
What I'm hoping is that this is the first one in a series of development for this type of control. You know?
for the controller? Okay, okay. So you're gonna get a Valve Steam box for the
Well,
controller.
no, I'm going to eventually get. You can just buy the controller, I think. At
Oh,
some
okay.
Like at some point, you'll be able to do that instead of have to.
Will the controller? Have they said whether or not the controller will work on?
Yes, it'll work on any PC.
Ooh, oh yeah. Okay. So that's definitely something that we'll need to test then thoroughly.
Yep.
Didn't even know that.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll come out originally. Obviously, it'll be a while.
Nice.
But I'm looking forward to it. It's something innovative in the controller space, which heavily needs it.
So go ahead and wrap it up with Destiny. This is pretty
There's
much
just really not much to talk about.
Destiny early access. Is that what they're calling it? Early access beta?
Yeah, I think that's right.
So I mean, there's a couple things that I want to kind of mention with this. First off, there hasn't been a whole lot. I think there was a new trailer today, which I probably need to watch.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Um,
It was for the moon.
okay, so I need to watch the trailer. I haven't done that yet. So they came out with a new trailer, which was much needed. Like, we have not heard. There's been so much Titanfall stuff just sweeping through everything with the next gen games that I almost feel like Bungie is just staying under the radar on purpose, and just they don't want anybody to know about the game at this point, because there's been just not a lot of information divulged from their part, and I feel like I don't know if I necessarily feel like they need to, because I think everyone's going to get the game, but I feel like I want to know more, and there's just not enough information right now. It seems like it's creeping up faster um, than I think I'm expecting. But
Yeah. So if you pre-order, you get a code basically to redeem your spot in the beta, and then you'll get a beta code later on, or a download code.
is it for all? Is it just PS3? Is it Xbox One? Is it?
They say the platform selection will come later, but it sounds like it's going to be on all platforms for the beta.
Okay. Hmm.
One interesting quote. I posted a link to the GameSpot article with Bungie's. It was community manager Eric Osborne. He said that the Destiny beta, in many ways, is being treated like a full product launch. We don't just carve out 3 competitive multiplayer maps this time around. We'd only be gathering data on one facet of the overall experience, one that is arguably the least resource intensive and most well understood by our team. Destiny demands more. So it sounds like they're going to do quite a bit with the beta. It'll be pretty.
Was that a jab at the other studios out there that don't?
No, I think it was a reference to the Reach beta, where they just had the 3 maps, and Halo 3 was the same. So like when they've done betas in the past, which have had millions of people, they've just done 3 maps and kind of done hoppers, and they're trying to say that like they've done that before and they know how to do that, so they're not really worried about multiplayers and hoppers and stuff.
Okay.
They're more worried about the experience.
Random question: will Destiny have cross-platform play? I don't believe so, but that hasn't been any.
They haven't said anything. Yeah, it sounds like your character might be able to go from one to the other, but cross-platform play, they haven't said anything.
Obviously, the big thing there is Microsoft, Sony, like working together to make that work.
That won't happen. Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
At best, you would get something along the lines of being able to play if they went to PC, which they still have yet to confirm. That you would play like PS3 with or 360.
To answer your question earlier about all platforms, they said in this thing, we want to ramp up to a pretty massive scale prior to launch on all 4 shipping platforms. We can and do perform a lot of small to large scale testing, but nothing beats a turbulent sea of gamers smashing up against our code, services, and contents. So they want to do all 4 platforms for the beta.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And they want to get all ramped up to a massive scale on all 4 platforms.
I don't think they'll have a problem doing that.
No, not at all.
So, I mean, in order for them to do that, I mean, I wonder if they're going to, at some point, because this is early access for the pre-order, say, okay, now we're just going to open the gates. Because some people, I mean, there's a point when you pre-order something, and I still think millions of people have probably pre-ordered the game, but at some point you're going to be like, okay, we can't, no one's going to buy it, so we hit our limit, let's go to make it open, and everyone's in there to kind of test things out. I don't know if they'll really make a difference there for them, whether or not they're even concerned, but I am, this is one of the games that has us very interested, so
yep,
we will have that beta. We'll be in that beta.
Probably pre-ordering tomorrow.
The interesting thing, about this particular beta is I don't see myself providing really any feedback. I might. I just want to play.
I think when you pre-order something, you're less likely to do that. You know what I mean? Like, you put down a pre-order to get in, so
I just want to play.
It's really just a sneak peek, right? Like a demo.
Yeah.
And in this case, the beta is really more about their servers getting slammed.
And I wonder if this is going to be early enough from the launch that they're going to make some significant changes based off of the data that they receive.
They actually talk also in the interview about their new user research team in house and how they've built some pretty robust systems and toys to be able to gather player data. So it sounds like they might do some tuning to that end. I imagine their focus is just server backend stuff.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
And platform inconsistencies.
So that's pretty much it for today's show. Probably hit up a few questions in chat if we have any. Q&A, quick Q&A. If I don't get any questions next 3 minutes, we're gonna end at 9:15. Well, 10:15. Because I'm trying to get on that Battlefield 4 beta.
Bum, 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 bum.
Huh. Nothing. I'm gonna go back up through the thoughts on Colin's negativity towards the grind
On the grind every day.
on Dota.
Yep.
If you're not even gonna compete in the MLG season,
I would happily compete. I don't have 4 like-minded people.
how many do you have?
I don't know. I got some people with issues. It's the best way to put it.
I'm not coming to the rescue. I'm too busy playing Battlefield 4 beta. Can't count on me.
No, absolutely not, Dota. I didn't even say your name, Tense. I didn't even say your name. He's like, all right, I have issues somehow. How are you gonna jump to conclusions like that? That's your issue. That's your issue. You jump to conclusions.
So sensitive. Darkstorm, can you play BF4 beta with me? Possibly. Plan on playing with tents. We'll see. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? None.
By choice. That's a pretty negative response.
BF4 beta on Xbox or PC? PC? Why do you always talk about Nintendo as an afterthought, Ark? Milky? What is it? Is it at the forefront of your mind right now? I mean, it's no secret that
The
Nintendo
show
Wii-
is called Frag Logic, and they haven't had a shooter worthwhile since what, like Metroid Prime?
I mean, it's Wii U.
Even that's debatable.
Wii U sales floundering. Like I think Nintendo is awesome for handhelds. I think they have great IPs too. But they got people to buy in on the gimmick once, and I don't think people are gonna fall for it twice. So I don't think people are very excited for the thoughts on Half-Life 3, Valve trademark. Did they
Whoa,
trademark
wait.
it?
Valve is making Half-Life 3? I thought they would just leave that game in the sewers. I'm really surprised they would make a Half-Life 3.
Is that sarcastic?
I couldn't apply enough sarcasm to that statement because it's so obvious.
So much sarcasm. Xbox 360's BF4 beta looks like shit. Well, because my frames drop, the beta on the PC doesn't look too hot either.
Battlefield on the consoles have always looked pretty bad. If you actually look up close at the textures in Battlefield 3, it's pretty bad. They'll probably do a hefty install though.
That looks like 9:15. All right, we're gonna wrap up the show.
Nothing. All right, wrap it up.
Yeah, wrap it up. All right. So I hope everybody enjoyed the show. We will be back next week, probably talking a little bit more about Battlefield. I'm still debating on getting Grand Theft Auto. I still haven't bit the bullet.
I'm still waiting to hear about GTA Online. And all I've heard so far today is that the servers are sucking. So we'll give it a week.
Yeah, I saw people QQing on Twitter saying that.
How did they have so much time to set this up?
Yeah,
and still
mess up. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, if you launch multiplayer after the game's out, then that means you could have tested it live. I don't know. And you limited the amount of people doing it because it's only people who knew it was going live today. You know. Yeah, I'm surprised that they botched that so badly. But yeah, I'll give it a week to see feedback and if I'm gonna buy it.
Based on last week's show, does this take Rockstar off of that pedestal you have him on a little bit?
No.
Okay. Just making sure. All right, but yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. Adios.